Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Are you ready? Go! Go!
Hello. Alright. Hello. I think I'm better today.
Go!
But not 100% better, but better. So is feeling a bit better. How do I sound? I sound pretty okay? Am I being overpowered by the game or not? Is the game overpowering me? What do you think? I don't think it is, but I'm gonna do a warm-up thing. A bit. Okay. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this good. Where is the wave? Now it should be now it should be okay. I hope it will be fine now. Let me do this little. Okay.
Welcome
Now
to
it
the
should
world
be
of
fine.
Street Fighter 3.
Fighter 3. Playing as the best character. Chun-Li. It's okay. Gonna insert some coins and we're gonna
Welcome to the world of Street.
get into it.
Yeah, battle.
In the warm-up section.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Talking to my best friend yesterday, and he actually won. He actually won a GameCube in a tournament. Best friend was a regular Street Fighter Third Strike Pro, winning tournaments and stuff.
Prepare to strike now.
I have to admit, I do feel a little bit better, even if not 100% better. I am hoping you can sort of hear that voice-wise I'm doing better. And by voice, I mean the state of my throat. Alright. Done it. I won.
Win.
True. Got a few things we want to talk about today. A few really important things. But as always, we're gonna wait for people to gather around. Ibuki. Young Ibuki.
Yeah,
Ibuki.
I've been waiting for this.
I'm gonna choose Ibuki. Right.
Fighters ready. Engage.
Actually, technically speaking, I shouldn't be jumping around at all. Apparently, a thing that really throws people off is, well, hello there. Hello.
Fighters
The
ready.
thing that really throws people off is when you throw people mid-air. Currently, even people that are pretty good at escaping throws are not super good at escaping them mid-air. People just don't expect it. There you go. It's done. It is done.
You win.
谢谢, which is thank you in Chinese. Wait, I should share the link. I might later. First, we must go through a few segments.
That's what I expected.
Who am I fighting? Oh,
Fighters ready. Engage.
the music in this game is really good. It's a really specific Street Fighter. The Third Strike has music like no other Street Fighter really.
Are you ready?
Alright.
Go.
Uh-oh. That was it. Oh,
You win.
I got hit. Shit. He got hit.
Bonus stage.
What's next is the bonus.
Begin.
Playing cards.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does it make sense?
Fighters ready. Engage.
Oh, block. Oh. Ay. That's not good.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Let's go.
That was good. Hello, Shakespeare. Hello. Shakespeare. we're actually entering a very special event this month.
You lose.
Did you know? This year there's a very special celebration. The 80th anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising.
Welcome to the
I'm
world
probably gonna do a whole series of
battle. Well, I got the picture.
streams related to the Ghetto Uprising.
Are you ready? Go.
Very important event.
Let's go.
This is a very powerful quote that I'm gonna make whenever we set it up. We're gonna do it. Actually, this month is perfect because you can do it as part of the commemoration. You can do it as part of the commemoration series for the
Fighters ready.
Ghetto Uprising. So that's actually sounds like a very good idea. There will be a special exhibition in the Pauling Museum that I'm gonna probably catch on video. It's called right. The exhibition is called All Around Us, a Sea of Fire. Very
You win.
sound is good, very good to hear. Now we must get more
Yeah.
gigglers to come here.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Just so you know, because people keep thinking that, but Warsaw Ghetto Uprising is a different event from the Warsaw Uprising. The Ghetto Uprising is not the same uprising as the Ghetto Uprising. The Ghetto Uprising was in 1943. The Warsaw Uprising was in 1944. So those events took part 1 year apart
Are you ready?
from each other. There's a lot to be talking about there. That's not a very good special. But I've chosen it by mistake. Maybe I should just be defeated. Maybe I deserve to be defeated here. Sprite work is so good. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle.
That's better. The second one. That's better. Water. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fighters ready. Engage.
I actually want to discuss quite a few things today. Not least of all, the topic of a huge leak that apparently has happened regarding the US security spying on everybody, including Russia and Ukraine. And we've got a lot of interesting info from that. It is, right? Street Fighter is so cool. It is cool. But don't worry.
Fighters ready. Engage.
I'm gonna be discussing some serious topics today. As I've said before, my in real life best friend is actually a bit of a Street Fighter Third Strike pro. We met yesterday and he even did some reminiscing on winning a Third Strike tournament and winning a
Round. Now.
GameCube as first prize. The tournament's reward was a Nintendo GameCube console. And he won it. And then he sold it. True. His nickname for the tournaments was Zero. Those were the days. No, he doesn't play it anymore. In fact,
Yeah.
he and his wife are expecting twins now. He's expecting
Fighters
children.
ready. Engage.
They are to be born any day now. 2 weeks. So it could happen any moment now, technically speaking, you know? Typo in stream title. What's the typo? It's okay. You can change the title. Oh, you can change the title. It's okay. Oh, by the way, my friend played as Yoon. That was his character. He played as Yoon.
Fighters ready.
That was like his main. I'm just wondering what should I start with. Get Dylan. He might start from Twitter being Twitter. Again.
Final round. Go for it.
Yeah, I should switch to... Oh, cancelled.
Double KO.
Double KO. Oh my gosh.
Judgment.
Never had a double KO before. What?
You lose.
Is this for real? Oh my gosh. Corrupt judges, that's right. That's right.
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3.
That's messed up. Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My gosh.
Are you ready? Go.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, yeah. I forgot. This game is actually the only, I think, Street Fighter in which taunting affects your stats, you know? Gives you buffs to combos and stuff like that. You know? Audio sounds great. That's good.
Now.
Because I've been working on it together with Somniostatic. Audio is great. You should invite more gigglers to come. How is everyone? How many gigglers have we got here right now? How many of you are here? Uh-oh. Alright. Hope
You win.
I can giggle enough for everybody. Oh, that's good. We're gonna 決めることしか考えないから Ashi and I wasn't able to
Bonus stage.
read it. Oh no, I'm not good at this one.
Begin.
Oh my gosh. No bonus. I hate this. True.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hello, Jess.
Are you ready?
How's everybody? Should get all the gigglers in here so that we can start the segments. I have like 1 million segments prepared for today. And by million, I mean at least 2. What are you? Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. I think we've got enough people now. I do think so. Make yourself known in the chat by using that Lucy Nod or a Lucy Hypers. Make yourself known. What's this? Yeah, like this. Exactly like this.
Final round. Go for it.
And I have no... Oh, that was nice. I have no clue how many people are actually here right now.
You'll lose.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's okay. It's okay to lose because we're going into the thing right now. I'm gonna put away the controller. Engage. I'm turning this off. And let me see. We're gonna do some swapping around. Chat is here. We're gonna take the page here. Oh, I'm gonna do a nice little thing called perfect. Wait. Oh, it sounds better? Does it sound better? Does it sound professional? Does it sound like I'm a streamer that's worth listening to? Wait, let me see. No. Do I finally sound like a real streamer? Not like a fake? Not like the fake streamer that I have been till now? Hello, Tali-san. Okay. We're going to our favorite page called Twitter, so that I can complain to you all about a thing. Okay? I'm gonna look for a creator called Dylan Burns. I found you, Dylan Burns. There we go. This is one of those cases when I'm actually agreeing with Destiny on you've always been worth listening to. Wow, thank you. Thank you for this opinion. Alright. I'm gonna show you a segment. A big segment. Alright. Also, how's the chat delay? Because I think it should be really low right now. Because I've tried to set it to be really low. Alright. You all know who Dylan Burns is. Test. Let's see the test. Oh my gosh, it's still pretty slow. But technically speaking, I've set it to be pretty fast. How fast is it now? Let me see. The YouTube one is still pretty slow, but it's okay. Should be faster than usual in any case. Alright. So you all know who live chat. It's live chat. Okay, you all know who Dylan is. Have you heard about the whole have you heard about the whole thing with Dalai Lama and tongue sucking thing? Do you know about it? Because this all has started with Dylan making a tweet, right? Where is it? I have to find the tweet. There you go. Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, has been caught on video kissing a young boy on the lips at a Buddhist event and telling him, "Suck my tongue." And it all started with Dylan saying, "It's a Tibetan tradition to stick your tongue out as a greeting, and English isn't his first language. The insinuation here is gross." To be clear, what he did was unbelievably inappropriate. I just find it hard to believe that at the age of 87, he decided for the first time to show his hand and expose himself as a pedophile in front of a full crowd and cameras through whatever he was doing. Right? So that was Dylan's response, reaction to the article. And then a certain person decided that it's time to basically pedo jacket Dylan, which is really strange. You know? Really strange. Let me see here. Gato Fumador. I'm not sure who this person is. An open mind is like an open wound, which I guess tells us a bit about this person. And Clown World. He shows this Gato Fumador person, and then shows this mayor that turned out to be a pedophile, and also this ex-colleague Mark Mayor Patrick Bojan indicated on 80 child pornography charges. Right? So I personally think that it is pretty, well, scummy to try to weaponize the fact that Dylan had worked in the past for a person that had turned out to be a pedophile, right? And yeah, this is literally guilt by association, which is pretty ridiculous. At least I think it is. And Dylan saw this and felt the need to address it. Everyone around Patrick Vojan has been hurt by what he did. The whole city and anyone who ever worked with him feels incredibly betrayed. Guy was the mayor for Guy was the mayor for 8 years, and now those 8 years are scarred forever. I condemned him at the time and now wish the victims justice. I was like 14 when the dude became mayor. Our whole community is still in shock. Even as we start a new election for mayor, all that matters now is justice for the victims. Try to be open about it too and not cover it up. It's important to hold those in power accountable for abusing the most vulnerable among you, no matter who they are. All right? And I think it's pretty scummy to do this whole turning around and, oh, look, Dylan said that it's weird to assume that Dalai Lama would just come out as a pedo right now. And, oh, look, Dylan used to work for this person that turns out had child porn. Therefore, Dylan must somehow be suspicious, right? Like, I mean, of course. Well, no. Like, Dylan didn't know this what this person was. Nobody knew. Like, many people worked for this person and thought that he was okay. And I think it's pretty ridiculous to do something like this, right? I'm willing to bet that all the pro-Russia shills are going to jump on this to try to discredit Dylan's work in Ukraine as well. Like, let us see I just think it's silly. And I think that's just all there is to it. This is one of those rare occasions when I see Destiny saying, what a wildly fucking stupid tweet, and I just sort of agree, you know? I just find myself agreeing with what is being said here. So I guess this is like the first mini segment. Just wanted to highlight how ridiculous it is to try to, well, once again, demonize a person for working for a person who they did not know was a predator. I think that such behavior should be called out, right? And that's it, really. That's all I've got to say about it. It's ridiculous. It's pretty silly. And I think Dylan's work speaks for itself, really. And so if you've enjoyed this segment, press like, subscribe, the bell, maybe become a Patreon, because there's a certain streamer that really freaks out whenever I get a new Patreon. Maybe give this ducky a dono. And of course share this stream with others so that more people can join the fray, so that more people can watch more people can become part of the pond, the giggler community, the community of gigglers that never stops giggling. But we're gonna go into the big segment that is rather sudden, rather time sensitive, but I think we're gonna tackle it now. Gonna tackle it now. How much do you know about the new intelligence leak, US intelligence leak, the leak of US intel? Does anybody know about it apart from Somiostatic, of course, who is actually who has been the person to tell me about it? Is there anybody who knows about this thing? Anybody in the audience? Which reminds me, before I start this segment in the earnest, that I should probably this is a pretty new one, like from yesterday, I think, or something, and it was leaked not on a Minecraft server, but on a Discord, and it gives us a lot of interesting info. Some of which actually worries me a bit. Some of that info worries me a bit, you know, for a very important reason that we will be discussing during the segment. But first, we're gonna share this stream on some Discords if we haven't already. Have we shared here? Have we shared it here? Let me see. This is called Media and Promos. Okay, it seems that Somiostatic has done the sharing, so it's okay. We don't need to share. Have you shared it on the Vosh's one as well? We're gonna look at an article about the big leak. It was a Minecraft Discord server and an app going to Fortune. If it's the one I'm thinking of. I think it might be the one you're thinking of. We're gonna read about it now. We're gonna read about it now. We're gonna learn all about it. I'm gonna give my thoughts. Some of it is worrying. Some of it I'm not even sure what to think. But it's okay. We're gonna navigate through it together as a community. Daki salute. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I keep treating my throat to various sprays and stuff. That's okay. That is only to keep up the pace. That's right. It looks like that is the leak that you have been thinking of. because 4chan is being mentioned here. So you were correct, as always, Connor. Let's get into this. All right? Let's not cover the chat. The ongoing scandal over leaked US Intel documents explained. I guess that would be a scandal that just Intel that's supposed to be secret just leaks like this. What do you need to know about those top secret files that got posted on Discord? I wonder if it's gonna affect Discord in any way. Alright. Jonathan Geyer covers foreign policy, national security, and global affairs for Vox. Vox. Almost sounds like that company from The Boys, VOT. Or VAT. VOT. I think it was VOT. From 2019 to 2021, he worked at the American Prospect, whereas managing editor, he reported on Biden's and Trump's foreign policy teams. Yeah, VOT. Like, sheesh. They have a name that sounds so much like the evil organization from The Boys. On Friday, news organizations realized something quite remarkable. A trove of 100 secret US military and intelligence documents had been posted in the far-flung corners of the internet. So just so some of you know, this is not as much about the US spying on its citizens, but more about the US spying on its allies and opponents abroad. The files reveal closely held information about US operations, like a suggestion there are up to 100 NATO Special Operations officials in Ukraine, and details about um, casualty counts for both Russia and Ukraine, which we will briefly discuss because this is a thing that is interesting to me. The casualties. They indicate that the US has infiltrated Russian intelligence groups and has inside knowledge of hacking attempts on a Canadian pipeline. And they show in some detail what the US has gleaned from spying on partners such as Israel, Egypt, and South Korea. Right? I'm probably going to focus my commentary on Ukraine because this is like the topic that is of most interest to me. This is like the topic that is of most interest to me. And most bizarre, the document surfaced more than a month earlier on anonymous decentralized web forums dedicated to gaming, like a Discord channel devoted to Minecraft, and after that on 4chan. So this is exactly the leak that you were thinking of, Connor. The classified files emerged as recently photographed folded documents that may have appeared as daily briefings for the military's top leaders. If they are authentic, the documents represent a major intelligence breach and offer insights into the US role in defending Ukraine from Russia's invasion and other major geopolitical arenas. For now, the document's ambiguous provenance, the somewhat surprising platform on which they were first posted, the signs that at least several were doctored, and the inability to independently verify them mean it's difficult to draw sweeping conclusions. The motive for the document's publication is obscured. Okay, let me read this again for Somniostatic to be able to edit around this wacky blender. The motive for the document's publication is obscured by the jokey online exchanges in which they were shared. But the US government seems to be treating the documents as legitimate. The Justice Department opened an investigation into the leaks. The Defense Department and several other government agencies are together assessing any impact on national security, and Pentagon leaders are angry and scrambling to undo the damage. Which the reaction of the parties involved tells us, that alone tells us that this is a pretty big deal and that it's probably real. All right? Gavin Wild, a Carnegie Endowment expert who previously worked in the White House and at the National Security Agency, says the documents expose the contradiction between the incredible intelligence gathering capacity of US agencies and their apparent sloppiness in handling sensitive information. It's just the latest indication that the intelligence bureaucracy is both remarkably adept and remarkably inept in this new misinformation environment, he told me. The way we think about counterintelligence clearly needs to be more coherent. That's a paradox to me. Wild concluded that on one hand, these documents appear to show an intelligence community that excels at what it's charged with doing, while being kind of catastrophically inept at another aspect of what it's supposed to do. It really vexes me that it took over a month for them to gain popular notice. Excuse me. Okay, seems like I'm still mid-recovery, so I might take breaks. Okay, popular notice. We've stopped here. What the leak? What the leaks reveal? Oh, now that's the part that we are genuinely interested in. The documents, according to several former officials I spoke with, seem to be photographed from a briefing book for a high-level US military leader and perhaps shared with allies. The number of individuals who might have access to such documents, these sources speculated with might number into the hundreds or even low thousands. What was most noteworthy is the scope of the information, which includes a variety of maps that show Ukrainian and Russian positions and in-depth intelligence reports. What is your question about Poland, Moho? Ask your question, and I'm going to continue reading the article about the intelligence leak. All right? The documents appear, and I want to emphasize appear, to potentially reveal sources and methods, says Glenn Gerstel, who served as General Counsel of the National Security Agency from 2015 to 2020 and now works as an advisor to the consulting firm Beacon Global Strategies. Okay, this is a cutoff point in which I'm responding to the question, so you can basically cut it out of the segment. Some new static. Is it a thing in like Poland that people illegally ride like freight trains? I heard it was like a thing in some countries like the US. That's not really a big thing in Poland now. People ride trams and buses and the subway without the ticket. That's the closest equivalent of what you're saying that I can think of. Yeah. People just ride the public transport without paying a lot of the time. And then it becomes a lottery if like the controller will appear and check everyone's ticket or not. It becomes a gamble, a risky gamble. Because the fee you have to pay right now, the fee you have to pay for not getting a ticket and getting caught is roughly an equivalent of a 3-month ticket for subway, buses, and trams, because you can use one card for trains, buses, trams, and the subway, which is interesting. But okay, let's continue reading the article. Yeah, it is a quick streamery now. We'll probably do this segment about the giant intelligence leak, and I might actually finish the stream for today because I'm struggling. My throat is struggling, so I'm going to use the stronger spray that I've gotten today, and then I'm gonna finally fully recover my throat, and then we're gonna have super extreme streams, which I'm happy to report, even though I'm struggling right now, I sort of already feel that I can express myself a lot better than usually. Well, not usually, than recently. I can speak a less monotone. So I think I'm close to fully recovering my throat, which is gonna be really good because I will then be able to speak louder and with a lot more range. But I think we might need to stop the stream after this segment. And of course, I think you can cut this whole ramble out of the stream. And of course, everybody, you can now watch me from the White Forest page. Watch me from the White Forest page. It's worth it. And you can subscribe to me directly from the page. And you can give me a donation, which will help me in various ways. Okay, back to the segment. Back to what's important. This may compromise the US's ability, for example, to spy on Russia. The breadth and depth of the documents are also important. The documents are current, dated in late February or early March of this year, so very recent stuff, and cover a wide range of topics beyond just Ukraine. While 100 documents is a lot, it's not near the scale of the leaks published by Chelsea Manning or Edward Snowden. Asked if the leak was contained or whether more files were out there, White House spokesperson John Kirby said, "We don't know. We truly don't." Which is a pretty scary thing, by the way. When John Kirby, which happens to share the name with a famous comic book creator, says something like that. Among other surprise findings, the documents reveal the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad supported protests against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as he pushed for a major judicial overhaul in the country. Something that, by the way, Poland also pushed for a major judicial overhaul in the country. And it's why Poland has to pay millions of euro of payment in penalty to the European Union. The Washington Post cites a document that says Mossad leaders advocated for Mossad officials and Israeli citizens to protest the new Israeli government's proposed judicial reforms, including several explicit calls to action that decry the Israeli government. According to Signals Intelligence, Israel has not provided weapons to Ukraine, and a document from February 2023 shows scenarios that could drive Jerusalem to provide lethal aid to Ukraine. Very interesting. And of course, I'm going to be of the opinion that Ukraine should be supporting, that Israel should be supporting Ukraine. naturally, this is going to be my stance on the topic. And I actually do think that Israel is not in a good place politically. It's very far right, and I really am glad that the citizens went out to the streets to protest mm, the plans of Netanyahu's to stack the courts, basically. Then there are revelations about Egypt, which is one of the US closest Middle East partners, has received billions of dollars in military aid, but a leaked document reveals a scheme to possibly support Russia with armaments. According to the Washington Post, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi had recently ordered subordinates to produce up to 40,000 rockets to be covertly shipped to Russia. There we have it. I mean, it was expected that some countries would seek to secretly support Russia, and I'm a bit surprised that China is not doing it. But, well, I also heard that Turkey wanted to support Russia militarily. Like, any military support for Russia is pretty bad news. And it's double bad news when an ally of the US tries to do it. The leaked files offer new details about personnel losses in the Russia-Ukraine war, which both sides of the conflict try to keep secret. The New York Times says one document reports that the Russians have suffered 189,500 to 223,000 casualties, including up to 43,000 killed in action, while another notes as of February, Ukraine had suffered 124,500 to 139,000 casualties, up to 117 and a half killed in action, which is something that I would like to briefly stop here and discuss this. From what I hear, we're gonna actually read. Let's continue reading because this is mentioned. The thing that I wanted to talk about is mentioned here. Pro-Russia accounts on the social media platform Telegram doctored some of these casualty numbers before recirculating the document. So basically, the Telegram that is pro-Russia said that not 189,000 of uh, Russian soldiers died, but like 80,000, half. They cut the number in half. But what worries me is actually the large amount of Ukrainian soldiers that have died, because Russia is much bigger than Ukraine, and it has a lot more people to sort of throw into battle if necessary. And the loss of people in Ukraine is something that is not. You can rebuild cities, you can rebuild infrastructure, but you cannot bring people back to life. So I think personally that the loss of people hurts Ukraine a lot more than it hurts Russia. Let's make a little bit of a comparison. Ukraine wiki. Ukraine has the total population of 41,167,336, right? So 41 million, let's say. Let's round it down. Now, Russia. What is the population of Russia? Let me see. $147 million. So in other words, it's a lot more people that Russia can potentially conscript and throw in Ukraine. Right? So I think this number of casualties on Ukrainian side is a bit worrying, in my opinion. It worries me personally a bit because replacing equipment is much easier than replacing people. Several maps show detailed troop movements, the state of Ukrainian and Russian weaponry, and even the mud frozen ground timeline by month, which could be helpful in assessing the path of tanks on the battlefield. One top secret document lays out the shortcomings of the Ukrainian military and says Ukraine would only make modest territorial gains in its counteroffensive, which sort of, to me, it clearly indicates that Ukraine is not receiving the amount of aid that it should. Right? It clearly shows that Ukraine, for all the complaining that pro-Russia shills do, that Ukraine is getting too much, that the US is spending too much. In my opinion, Ukraine is not getting enough help. Ukraine should be armed in a way that would allow it to crush Russia on the battlefield. That is the only way to secure victory. Some of that information may already be outdated, but given the dates printed on the files, it may give Russia and other US adversaries the ability to reverse engineer the sources of US intelligence. This has the real potential for actually genuinely hurting national security, says Gerstel. In prior leaks, people said that, but what they really meant was it was politically embarrassing or awkward or hurt our relationships with allies. And this is a little different. Why did these documents get leaked and what happens now? It's not all clear who the source of the leak might be, and disgruntled US civilian, a disgruntled US civilian or uniformed official, someone simply trying to win an argument online. The timing might imply someone who is trying to shape the US and NATO response to an imminent Ukrainian counteroffensive, but that could be meant to box in the Western response to push for unmitigated support or to embarrass the US or to show the depth of US assistance to Ukraine on the ground. This could potentially disclose the position of Ukrainian troops and the plans of Ukraine to Russia, right? Whatever the content of the files, the leak itself is likely to be favorable to Russian President Vladimir Putin in at least two regards: netting a propaganda win and showing valuable insights into how US agencies work. Well, it also sort of gives Russia insights into the workings of the Ukrainian military. Though some analysts have argued that its origin is Russian intelligence, it's not clear why they would want to blow up such a gold mine of a source and publicize inside information. And the hastiness of the files being posted on seemingly arbitrary forum suggests it's not an influence operation or malevolent intelligence agency. I cannot comment on this in any way. You and I know that there is in fact a tendency to always blame everything on Russia. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said. The Biden administration will now be racing to ensure that the leak is plugged. That may result in a major tightening of access and probably, in some cases, a blanket shutdown of certain intelligence sharing, perhaps to the detriment of US policymaking, as different channels get more siloed. It will definitely kick off another cycle of caution where everybody kind of starts to lock things down and starts to reassess how much they're comfortable sharing with each other. Wild told me. It is curiously timed to the offensive. That is true. And it betrays Ukrainian positions to Russia, and it also betrays that the support that Ukraine is getting is not enough to launch a successful counter-offensive. In a statement, Discord said that they were cooperating with the investigation and could not provide any additional details. I wonder if this will change anything when it comes to Discord security, or maybe how Discord will flag certain content, or if Discord will allow of posting certain things on it. This is information that has no business in the public domain, Kirby told reporters from the White House lectern. It has no business. If you don't mind me saying on the front pages of newspapers or on television, it is not intended for public consumption and it should not be out there. But now that it is out there, it reveals the very human aspects of the high-tech wars the US is engaged in. For all the advanced weaponry the US is giving Ukraine, this is a war between humans. And when you have a lot of humans with access to highly secret information, there is always a potential. There is always a potential for a breach. People make mistakes. and they apparently love to show off their access and posts on platforms like Discord. The story was originally published on April 10th and has been updated with more details on the revelations contained within the leaked documents. So yeah, like this is very bad that the US would allow such a leak to even happen. And I think this is bad for Ukraine's effort to win the war. From what I know, this is not written in this particular document, but of course, President Zelensky himself is also being spied on by the US. And as I've said, this is really bad because it really betrays a lot of crucial Ukrainian information when it comes to the war. And it very well might end up giving Russia an edge. The question is, how much of an edge can Russia gain from this information? All right. If you've enjoyed this segment, if you think that you're enjoying what I do, if you think you would like to see more of my content, if you think Lucy has is a streamer you would like to support, then press like, press subscribe, ring the bell, comment, because comments drive engagement. Consider becoming a Patreon. Consider subscribing on the page, the White Forest page. And of course, consider giving me a donation. Thank you. So this segment's now over. And now I'm thinking of what to do. Because I'm thinking of cutting the stream short. Well, it is called a short stream. And I'm thinking of stopping the stream soon and resting my throat for, because it is sort of not easy for me to formulate my thoughts or focus on the content when my throat is still bothering me. So I think it's better to return in full force when I'm fully recovered. But I thought the whole pedo jacketing of Dylan and the leak was a pretty important thing to report on, especially since it sort of shows that certain allies of the US were sort of planning to secretly support Russia by giving them missiles and other types of weaponry. So this is not good. Also, after a lot of thinking, I have decided to remove the content that was problematic for YouTube and re-upload my conversation with Dylan Burns. So look forward to that video. Look forward to the re-uploaded discussion with Dylan Burns about Polish-Ukrainian relations. Yeah, I like the convo as well. I like it a lot. Which reminds me, in Polish TV there was like a really big conversation with a Ukrainian representative and an expert on social transformation, on how things transform within demographics. And there was again a lot of talk on how Ukraine and Poland are now closer than ever. This feeling of Ukrainian people feeling in Poland like at home, because Polish people have taken Ukrainian people into their own homes. And again, the talk of no borders, how we are in this together, how it's a joint effort, how Poland is this important place for Ukrainian families to be able to live and return home when it's safe, when the war is over. And a very interesting term was used during this conversation. I have never heard this term used before. Transnationalist, or rather, transnationality. That was the term. Transnationality, meaning that some Ukrainian people, even when the war is over, will live both in Poland and in Ukraine and will move on the regular between these two countries. So being sort of Polish but also Ukrainian, hence the term transnationality. All right, this could become a short actually. If we edit the video in an interesting way, then we could potentially make this little thing into a short, I think. Isn't this interesting? How arbitrary and based on self-identification nationality really is. And it is an aspect of nationality that I will really want to focus on moving forward when I will be discussing the historical events that led to the formation of Poland, Lithuania, Ukraine after World War I. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself because, as I said, my throat is killing me. And so we have streamed for an hour and a half. I think this is enough. I will now go to sleep. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you all for being here. We will be adding a lot more cool features to the stream as my throat recovers. And also, we will be adding a much more organized schedule so that people can come and watch specifically the thing that they want to watch, whether it be a specific game, whether it be a political segment, whether it be a reaction to something. I want people to be able to come to the stream and know exactly what they are signing themselves for. All right? I'm still thinking of a way of sort of getting more people to watch the streams as they happen. I think this is a thing that we will have to work on. Okay, so thank you all for coming. This has been a blast. I think my throat will be recovered soon. And yes, and so, hello, Trazador, Trazardos. Hello. Fortunately, we're finishing for now. So I will see you next time. I think very, very soon because I think my throat is seriously about to be better. Okay. I now press end stream. See you all. Also, next time we will do more Resident Evil. Bye bye. Good night. Or good evening. Love and solidarity.